So what happens when now, let's say 50% of your workforce is back in the physical office, 50% is remote? You now come into this, and I hate to use the culture word, where some people have better relationships with those remotely. So it has to be a cognizant feeling up on the part of the employer to ensure that those that are hybrid or remote, those that are in the office, it's not a different feeling. So how do you bring everybody together? How do you still have that camaraderie when some folks are bumping into each other at the water cooler and some people live in Dallas?
Well, how does your space work? Right. And those are the questions you need to start asking yourself is, first of all, when we look at our space, right, and how much we've taken down as a business, a lot of us, including us, we have a service center. Like, we have a lot of cubes, right? And they've got high walls on them now with glass and whatnot, and plexi, and right. But when we look at what we do as an organization, do we want to have a bunch of people stacked in there? Like, it was funny, even pre-pandemic, if anybody would show up to work, with heavy allergies, like, there was a whole lot of like, hey, you need to be here. Like, can you work remotely today?
I don't want you to get me sick, man.
Yeah, we don't want you to take the herd down with it, because you're showing up. So I think there's still some of that's going to happen. I think there's still going to be some PTSD, honestly, about being in an office in a confined space with a group of people. So then you have to start figuring out
one cough and everybody's racing to the exits.
Yeah. And, so as you start to turn your office back on, the conversation needs to be like, okay, how many people need to be in this density? Right. And then you need to start deciding, like, the technology that sits on those desks for that density, right? Do you need to have docking stations at every cube, or can you do every other cube? Do you need to have special conference rooms that are Teams rooms? They're enabled through the systems so that they can be built to create like special conference spaces for collaboration. What types of technology tools do you want to have in those rooms? Do you have pens that you can share what you're doing on whiteboards? Because that's such a critical part of when people are physically together, they're writing things down and doing that sort of thing so that they can share information. Like, these are things that companies need to start figuring out, and start to figure out how they can schedule their employees to come in the office and do work. And one of the things we found, which we saw online, which we like, and we're going to be looking at a little bit for ourselves and our clients. We're not a partner for these people, but we found this product called Robin Powered, and it looks pretty cool. And it seems to be one of these places that you can go on the internet to basically start building out mapping information for your office space, right? People can use their cell phones to start checking in and out of space at your offices so that you can have capacity matching. So you can say, hey, today is Monday, Wednesday, Friday, these people are supposed to be here. And Tuesday, Thursday, these folks are going to be here. It has in-out boards. So you can see who's going to be in the office and who's going to be out of the office. It's really interesting. And you can get some reporting on how people are using their office space, right? So that you can start making determinations about what areas might need to be expanded and which ones might need to be torn down. And really get an understanding, which is very important until we're out of this pandemic, like, who's been there, right? So if somebody happens to have an illness, maybe that's a contact trace type situation. You want to let a few of the other folks who are in the office with them know, right? So you can make sure that your team stays safe. So there are applications on the market that can provide you.
There's 1,000 others that we haven't even found yet.
Right.
But it's interesting because it does allow you to kind of come back to the office in a way where at least there's some visibility to it.
Right.
Right. And one of the big concerns that I have with our team coming back is like, all right, is everybody going to come back? I can tell you right now, with everybody I talk to, not just on our team, but out there, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday being in the office is the most popular. Yeah. So you've got, 10,000, 20,000 square feet office space that everybody wants to use on Wednesday. So you need all the space to fully occupy. But Monday and Friday, it's going to be a ghost town.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that functions as a business owner. I look at that going, okay, well, that's not a real fair and equitable way of doing it, because why would I just pay for office space on Wednesday? Unless somebody invents the new WeWork where you can just rent an entire building on Wednesday. I don't see how that real estate landlord makes money, but that's the real challenge. So I think there is going to be this scheduling, this communication of when do people want to work. I think one of the best ideas I saw, because I look at it I like having my office. I like having my space. I like to have my photos up on the wall. I like to kind of have my little world, which normally looks a lot messier than what you guys see on television. And I want to share that with somebody else necessarily. But I heard of a really interesting way of handling this that some companies are doing is it's not hot desking, where it's like everybody just pick whatever's available and you get a random desk every time you come in, but co-desking. So you only share that desk with one other person and your schedules don't overlap. So it's like, okay, I've got my lateral files on the left and Jane has hers on the right, and I work Mondays and Fridays in the office, or Monday and Tuesdays, and she's working Wednesday, Thursdays, but we share the same desk. So it's still ours, kinda. I think that's a great solution for companies that still have the floor plan or the floor plan to support it, but not everybody's going to be there at the same time. So the co-desking thing, I'm really eager to explore more into, because I think it might be a solution to those folks that, hey, I want to work, Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. Okay, whoever else is in Monday, Tuesday, they co-desk buddies. You've got an accountability buddy.